When I look at the crypto market like this, it's telling me a specific story. Inside the masterclass, before we look at the crypto market, we make sure that we look beyond the crypto market into the main market. All markets are intercorrelated and interdependent. What we're seeing currently is at the next FOMC meeting, which is under 2 days away, there's a 93.5% probability of a 25 basis point increase in the federal funds rate. Dramatic spikes in the federal funds rate have caused bank failures, such as First Republic Bank and Silicon Valley Bank, and in the news just in, JP Morgan is acquiring First Republic's $92 billion in deposits. The crypto market is not an independent financial market. All markets are intercorrelated and interconnected. This means we must look at the main markets or we'll be caught off guard inside the crypto market. Well done to everybody who did the active learning in yesterday's video. You nailed it. There's a very important signal that's being sent in these 8 charts. Instead of doing an active learning exercise on this, I'll just tell you, the US dollar currency index, the DXY, is starting to base and turn around. What does this actually mean? If the DXY starts to spike, it would be as a result of the FOMC increasing rates, and we can see yields starting to go up as well, starting to base and put bullish momentum in. What will this do to gold and to Bitcoin? Well, when it comes to gold, gold does not like higher yields. In all probability, gold will come down. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is an interesting animal at the current time, and you can see Bitcoin's price direction is this blue line. It's superimposed across or overlaid across these 8 charts because it's really important to understand. With the DXY coming up, it's actually telling experienced traders and investors yields are probably going to spike. A spike in the DXY and yields is going to place negative pressure on the major indices. It's going to place it on Bitcoin, and we can already see it playing out, and it's going to place negative pressure on gold. If this is combined with an upward tick in the VIX, and the VIX has been very, very overextended to the downside recently, this will add fuel to the negative fire. But one thing that we do as a community, as a global family, we do not fear the red. We're all about Rule 723, Master Fear. Mastering fear is a very, very important thing to do inside financial markets. And here you can see the master fear is just pushing out the bear. It's saying, bear, get out of here. I'm buying on the right side of the percentage. At times like this, we need to understand the 10-5-10 rule. It's a very, very important concept to understand. What does it actually mean? If you had something at $10 and it went to 5, you just lost 50%. But if it goes from 5 back to 10, you just made 100%. That's why it's very important to master emotional control. When you can get on the right side of the percentage, even if you're on the wrong side of the trade, you will do incredibly well. But you must have the knowledge. When people see red, the last thing that they want to do is to get into the market. They want to see green, preferably end-to-end green. It really depends on what time frame you're looking at. If you look at across the past 24 hours, the market has come down. But the other thing to just be aware of, if you change perspectives and you look on an hourly basis, a lot of these percentages up are effectively an entire year of interest payments at a bank. Just because we see negative price momentum inside the market doesn't mean we run away. We're like trained firefighters. We run into this fire. But of course, like trained firefighters, we have the protective equipment. One way to master fear is to do your daily 3-dimensional risk management, your CTKS code. And we can see Bitcoin is nearly down 5%. The 24-hour greatest gainers are Injective, USDD, which is a stable coin, Tron, EGLD, Leo, Maker, and Chiliz. There are always opportunities inside every single financial market. There are massive opportunities inside crypto because of its volatility, but you must arm yourself against that volatility. But how do you do that? It's through the application of Rule 130, make volatility your best friend. You have to say to your best friend, I'm sorry, best friend, you're not my best friend anymore. Volatility is. This is very, very difficult for people to do because we don't like red price action. In fact, the red price action is putting price towards your favor, but you must know what you're doing. We can see the greatest losers past 24 hour, top 100, ICP, Render Token, XDC, HBAR, NEAR, AGIX, and DYDX. Over the past couple of videos, we've looked at depth charts, we've looked at liquidations, we've looked at all sorts of things, and I love the comments. People have found it so very, very helpful. I'm so appreciative of this because this is what Kate and I are here for. We're here to give you as much value as we humanly can each and every day. Please reach out in the comments. Is there any particular area that you would like us to go through? Now, let's start applying this knowledge. Application is really, really important inside financial markets. We can see over the past 24 hours, 133.7 million in total liquidations across 35,430 positions. What do we also notice here? In the past 24 hours, these were the top liquidations. We'll actually go through those in a moment. We know that the crypto market was subjected to a lot of negative price momentum, and we talked about that yesterday. When you get long liquidations, especially a lot of them, you're going to get the longs covering, becoming forced sellers at market and pushing the price down. We can see about 89% of total liquidations across the past 24 hours were long liquidations. What about the past 12 hours? It was 82%, so it was less. What about the past 4 hours? It was around 80%, so it's less. What about the past hour? It turned the other way, 61% short. Just when you think it's safe to go into the water, the shark, Jaws, comes out. I need to cue the Jaws theme song. Dun 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 dun. This is something really important to understand. When prices go down, a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to short, and then they get crushed. Because if you don't know precisely what you're doing, especially with derivatives, you are going to get crushed. It can be very, very nasty. Yesterday, I talked about these, just pulling out 8 tokens from this list. Let's do that again today. These tokens have the market's attention. That's something that we want to bear in mind. We can see Aptos moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. But look at XRP. XRP is starting to invert. Doge is starting to invert. You note that Bitcoin is coming down and down and down. Doge was coming down, but now it's started to go back up. How do you compare these gravitational pulls? The blue one is always Bitcoin. Look at this particular peak here and this particular peak here. Compare it to Doge, this particular peak and this particular peak. How do you make sense of that? Well, if this peak was up around here, that would just be Doge, would just be following Bitcoin's gravity, but it's a lot stronger. You want to always look for investor attention. And this is what today's episode is all about. Investor attention, how to spot it. Of course, you need an overall market perspective. So that's why I went through the market perspective first. What about XRP? You can see it's also inverting. This is exactly what we're looking for. We want to find strength, especially in weak markets. You must always keep Rule 4 in mind. Price moves in waves. You may have a lot of FOMO wanting to get into something specific, but you want to also think about what happens if the price moves against you. You're always doing your three-dimensional thinking. Remember, price does move in waves. Take advantage of those waves for your buying and your selling. What we can see now is Bitcoin is starting to come up. How is that influencing all of the other cryptos? They're starting to come up too. And one thing that's really interesting, Doge tends to behave very, very well and give an early warning sign of turnarounds in Bitcoin. Of course, price is always moving in a wave, so you need to have your three-dimensional thinking. I'm going to get into that in a little more depth in a minute. Look at Solana just moving with Bitcoin's gravity. ARB also doing the same. DYDX under pressure. OP also under pressure. And CFX also showing a lot of spiky action. It depends on what kind of trading that you want to do or kind of investing that you want to do. When you invest, if you dollar cost average in, don't do it on deep green days. Do it on deep red days. Well done to everybody yesterday when I was saying about the potential negative price momentum inside Bitcoin. Many people correctly pointed out that the S&P 500 futures were turning negative, and they did. What I've actually done here is to provide you a little bit of insight. I've done the three-dimensional thinking all the way out to the end of the month, but we'll just look at it week by week. Don't forget to update your Stanfield lines and Stanfield zones, your SLs and SCs. One thing that I do when I'm marking up my charts, I go through and audit every single time period. It's important to understand TradingView can be a little bit dodgy from time to time. It can move your lines around. For the first week, I'm estimating if a bullish projection actually occurs, we would expect something around the 30,450 mark. If we go flat, just consolidate somewhere around the 28,331. And if we go down somewhere around the 25,500 mark. I actually drew my projections out at this particular point of time. We can see that we're going more towards a bearish perspective, but we've been hit by a smart money buy level. That's causing a bit of a reflection in price at the moment. This is exactly what smart money buy levels do. Bitcoin is currently trading at $28,046. We're seeing a smart money buy area between 27,877 and 28,174. I'm always developing and inventing new things to help you gain a different perspective on financial markets, to gain more certainty, and of course to gain more profitability. It's important to apply your knowledge from TG34 of the Masterclass. And you Masterclass students, you get my live chart in that particular lesson. What we're looking at here, even if you're not in the Masterclass, is a very important thing to understand. When you see the number of margin shorts in Bitcoin picking up, you can see that price is likely to come down first as the longs get liquidated. But as the longs start to gain more and more confidence, they will liquidate the shorts. Things can get pretty choppy at times, but when you get a fresh kick up, you'll either get a consolidation. I'm talking about a fresh kick up in terms of shorts. You would anticipate negative price momentum. We always have our three-dimensional thinking playing out at all times. We're not caught off guard because we've conservatively estimated where the market could go, and I urge you to do that. Let's have a look at the top 8 cryptos. We can see Bitcoin came down significantly and is just interacting with that smart money buy area at the moment. It's acting as a safety net. If you look at yesterday's video, I explained that pretty much in depth. There's some really good analogies that should help you out tremendously. Ethereum moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Look at BNB. Binance is saying, no, we're not going with the market. Not at all. This potentially could be a very, very constructive sign for the crypto market. When you have the world's major centralized exchange and you see BNB pumping up like this, it's generally a good sign. The risk is coming out of the crypto market. If you read the news headlines, you'll just run and hide under your bed. Everything's depression, recession, everything's going to explode, and they've been having the same news headlines for years. What you need to do is just look at the charts and make your decisions from there. The charts, The news is in to get eyeballs. How does it get eyeballs? People get really afraid. They want to learn. What do I do if things implode? And of course, that's important, but the news sources tend to overdo it. When you look at a chart and you understand what is happening, you can see things that other people will be blind to because they've just been conned by the news media. There's a really good film that you can see called Nightcrawler. It is a little bit dark, but it's a terrific film. It explains the news media in ways that you could not understand unless you watch this particular film. Market attention needs to be contextualized in line with what Bitcoin is doing. If Bitcoin is coming down, market attention will be going towards inverters. This is why you want to look on a very tight time frame to understand if inversion is occurring. If you look at deeper time frames, what you actually find is that everything gets lost. You just can't get the right understanding of how price is interacting with Bitcoin's gravity. I would suggest using the 5-minute view because it has enough data to give you a bit of an indication, especially if you've seen a major move like what we just saw in Bitcoin. One other way that you can understand what particular projects have the market's attention is, of course, to list the top crypto projects. I like the top 100. I think it's a little bit safer than going out too deep. But of course, you can go for whatever you want. Just be aware of the risks. You can do it from this perspective, the 24-hour gainers. It's also important to think about what groups are going down, what groups are coming up. But there's another way to do it. You can look at the volume, and you want increasing levels of volume. You don't want the Hotel California trade where you get stuck in. You can buy anytime you want, but you can never sell. You don't want that. What we can actually see here, Tether is the #1 focus in terms of investor attention right now. People are pulling their money out of different cryptos and whacking it in to Tether. We can see Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they're very dominant projects. We can also see other stable coins, BNB. And what you're actually looking for is to try to determine how these things change over time. That means you need to keep an eye on it. When you look at this list, in order to understand investor attention, you're generally going to get, because of the size, a lot of dominant projects. You can see position 3, position 1, 2, 5. What you're really interested in is when you get outside the top 30, appearing in the top 10, such as True USD. So money is coming into TUSD. What about when you start to see, like here, Arbitrum, ARB 36. This is interesting. Render token 60. Aptos 32. This is the kind of thing that's good to look at. And you want to look particularly for inversion. If your particular project is selling down on massive volume as Bitcoin sells down, it's just going in the same direction as Bitcoin's gravity. You want to look for inverters at this particular stage inside the market. As a community, we're deeply into active learning. As a global family, we're always seeking to deepen our knowledge and our emotional mastery. You can think about it this way. Active learning is like actually doing a sport instead of watching it. There are so many opportunities inside the markets. It's very important that you don't get negative. If you're new to financial markets, the last 3 videos, well, this one including, and the last 3 are really helpful to you. Please let me know in the comments what else you would like me to cover. And a big congratulations to Jeff B. CJ, you're a legend. As Masterclass students, we're always learning and we're always a student of life. It's important to be open. We're all about becoming more of a financial and emotional blessing to ourselves and those we love. I'll keep on doing these kinds of videos. I think they help out our beloved global family so much. This is a bit of an active learning exercise. And it's important to be able to look at financial markets. Please have a look at the top 50 cryptos and have a look at which ones are inverting and let us know in the comments. Even better is looking in the top 100. Success in any endeavor requires persistence and commitment. We're all about positive excellence inside our global family. Always keep that strong, positive outlook on life. And why is that? Because opportunities reset every single day. You can always do well, but you have to have the right attitude. If you were doing your CTKS codes correctly, you weren't caught off guard at all by Bitcoin's 5% slide. You already made up your mind what would happen if the market went down, if it went neutral, or if it went up. You're not caught by surprise by any market movement. This is pure power. Always remember, you control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return, and that return is always based on your active learning, your knowledge plus your courage. The more active learning you do, the more successful you will be in all areas of your life. A lot of people say, I'll be persistent and committed tomorrow. I'll be courageous tomorrow. The truth is, there's only now. We just need to create better habits to create a better life. Always remember, if you don't like the results you're getting, all results are coming from the mind. And typically, those results are baked into the habits that we perform without conscious awareness. Therefore, better habits create a better life, and a better mind creates better outcomes. Don't worry about radical improvement, just try to be a little bit better each and every day. The reason we have the CTKS Creed, these daily positive affirmations for abundance, financial success, and happiness, is because when the markets turn red, people get really scared and fearful. In fact, this is where the opportunities just abound. Creating that opportunity mindset, you just say these positive affirmations, and a positive affirmation is just saying the word I. And you say these words, but say them with feeling and really believe it. I know the universe is designed to make me succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities in life reset daily. I am worthy, I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. I always solve my problems with positive excellence. Positivity is a requirement of success. You can't be negative and create a positive life. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.